last week was the season finale of Love After Lockup, and after the season finale, I ended up uploading my third part of my interview with Michael because he talked about some things that happened after the season he couldn't talk about before the season finale. And in that third part of my interview, he ended up talking about the fact that he claimed that after September, he never went to Kayleigh's house again or ever tried to go see her again. And Kayleigh reached out to me and she wanted to clarify a few things. She said he wasn't allowed to come to the halfway house, and she meant house. So he said he wasn't allowed to come to my house after September. I have a message on Facebook where he asked if he was coming for a 24-hour pass, and I said no. So the halfway house didn't actually ever tell him that he couldn't come to my house, because that's another thing he claimed in the interview. He claimed the halfway house would no longer allow him to go over to Kayleigh's house. And she said, because I never actually tried to have him arrested, I told him that he couldn't come to my house. She sent some receipts to back up what she was saying. So here is a message from Michael from back in October where he's like, I love you. Yes, I made mistakes out of anger and fear, and I do apologize. And whether you see it or not, my anger and my fear come from my hurt and love. And at the end of the day, I guess pride led me there. In every way I did make a mistake, I'll live with it. I don't want to fight or hurt you or the kids. There will be no more posts about us after today. Kayleigh, I do love you, and I fell short of my promise. That's my flaw, but I will be going to therapy and hope to be a better man. I wish you the best and most that life can offer. And you know what? I had to go back and look. And when Michael first came on this scene and he was on Love During Lockup, I remember right around this time that I was covering like comments that he was like, girls flirting with him and him responding back to comments. And I'm like, it looks like him and Kayleigh might not be together anymore. And it matches up like right when they're breaking up, when he was doing all this. But then she shared some more receipts, some more conversations. And I guess this is Michael reaching out to her on Facebook. And she responded to Michael. So he posted, Dear God, please remove all her side dudes from the world. Amen. And she says, so you can sell me to another company? What's the profit for that if you do that? And he said, you don't know me. She said, you'd sell me for a penny on the dollar if you thought you could get ahead in life. He said, you don't know me. She said, oh, I know you. You don't know you. He said, you're right. I thought I did. And she said, I hope Love After Lockup was worth it. And he said, I hope Dan's worth it. And she said, sure, Dan's the issue. What bothers you more is the fact that another man's willing to protect me, or the fact that you can't. And then he said, it's the fact that you went to another, and then it cuts off. And then she said, house phone, what are we doing about it? And he said, can you send me a picture of our 2024 tax return, please? And this is all from October 5th of 2025. And he says, am I coming there for my 24-hour pass or no? And she said, let me black out our social security number. And she said, why would you? We aren't together. We don't need to play house. And he said, okay, thank you. She sent the tax return. And that was the end of their conversations. After Kayleigh sent me these messages, this is what she had to say to me. She said, yeah, he sent me a message that said, am I coming to your house for the 24-hour pass? And I said, why would you come to my house? So the halfway house was letting him still come to my home if he wanted to. And his interview with you, he says that they are saying he couldn't. I was trying to get him arrested, which is a lie, because if that was the case, I wouldn't be asking a month after the police report to come to my house. And I'm kind of believing Kayleigh on that part, because when I initially asked Michael about the police report, he was surprised and he's like, no, there's no police report. What are you talking about? I was like, yes, there is. And I had to show him. And then she said, and then I shared the message that he sent me after I posted a video about getting a divorce, because my video said that I'm not upset about it. I don't care. And then he sent me that message. So it's really as bad as everyone thinks so if I was really as bad as everyone thinks I am, and I really did him as dirty as he tries to portray, why would he be messaging me that? Also, he says I got married weeks after I got divorced. We got divorced officially in March. I didn't get married legally for months after, not weeks. And then Kayleigh did end up doing a face reveal of her man finally. This is Kayleigh and her husband. She said that he finally allowed her to post him. Initially, he didn't want to get posted because he just didn't want to be a public figure. He's a very private guy and he didn't want to be like involved in any of the drama. But he came out and said in a video that he didn't want Kayleigh to feel like he was embarrassed or ashamed of her. So he finally said, you know what, baby, you can go ahead and post me. And he is tall. He's like twice the height of Kayleigh. According to Kayleigh, she went to church, she met him, and then eventually they started working together. And then they started dating, and then they got married not long after that. And Michael has been out here praising his girlfriend. He said, this woman works harder than any woman I've ever met. Long hours and days. She gets off and spends half the night on work calls, then still has time to start laundry, feed her son, and watch The Last of Us a couple of times a week with me. She also takes a few minutes out of each day just to make sure someone is in my corner. She's stressed, overworked, and brain is fried by the end of the day, but she still smiles, laughs, and makes my day every time I see her. I'm happy. I also know I have cats. I also now have cats, so also not happy. She's a nuclear engineer and they make over 100,000 plus a year, even more than that. She's making bank. And apparently she went to school with Michael and Kayleigh, and I asked around, like, how was she in high school? And I was told that Kayleigh didn't really know her, talk to her in high school. I was told that she was Michael's current girlfriend, had a son very young, and her mother ended up raising her son. But from the looks of it, kind of looks like she may have custody of her son now, but I can't say 100% for sure. But someone said, okay, but what are you doing in return for her? It's a lot of what she's doing for everyone else. And he said, look, I make her coffee. I pay all my bills. Okay, but that should be a given. You should be paying all your bills to begin with. I pay for our dates. I help with laundry. I clean the house. I feed the kitty. It's mutual. She does what she can, and I do when I can. And I'm confused. Like, are they living together? Because he's talking about how he now has 2 cats. And it sounds like he's not too happy about that. So it kind of makes it sound like she may have moved in with him. So he said, so all y'all keep posting about my post about my girl. She works hard for sure. And I know this is in response to my post because I posted his post about him praising his girlfriend. And some of the comments he didn't like. And he specifically pointed that out in the comments. Like, y'all, why do y'all gotta be like that? So then he's like, she works hard for sure. And she's carrying her company on her back. I commend her. I just don't get these people who say I'm a deadbeat. Like, me and my girl don't live together. Okay, so they don't live together. He's confirmed that. We don't have a promise ring. Neither one of us want marriage. We just want to be happy together, and we are. I come home, I make my food, I make my lunches, I clean my dishes, I pay my bills, I do my schoolwork, I feed and water the cats, and on the weekend she comes by and I still pay for dinners. I pay to take our kids out, gas up her car and mine, and then the next week she'll pay for a meal. That's a healthy relationship. I don't know what these people have. Y'all also say I entertain women. I have women message me and I'll tell them I'm taken. But he'll turn around and thank them for the compliment. Same thing I tell the gay guys in my inbox. I stand for fidelity. Quit being so miserable and find your happiness. Or at least click on someone else's page and bring the negativity there. Happy Tuesday. And you know what? I bet he has a lot of gay guys in his inbox. He just, because he's one of those pretty boys. I bet if he made an OF, like, catered to gay men, he'd probably make a lot of money. I mean, he was trying to make an OF according to Kayleigh. He was trying to get Kayleigh to make OF, and he had plans to make OF when he got out, but I don't think he ever did. But yeah, that is pretty much all the updates I want to share with you guys on Kayleigh and Michael. Let me know what you guys thought about everything in the comments below, and thank you guys so much for watching.